Hi all of you. Hi YouTubers, this is Gil. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 15 more facts about me. And this is like the continuation from my last video. So yes, fact number 1 is I'm not into politics or like the politics when it comes to talking about politics and presidents and city mayors or whatever. I'm not even really into that. I don't even really pay attention to that. Although I like to listen to what they have to say. I don't care. But I don't like to get too much into detail about it, because we're gonna get a lot of disagreement or whatever. I don't really care I don't care for this politics thing, but I also don't really care if you guys are gonna post political things. I don't care. I'll read them out. I don't care. But if it starts getting into the like offending people, I want to get out of it right away, Okay, fact number 2, sports. I'm not a sports kind of guy, and I never really have been into it. I'm not really a fan of any sports or anything, but you know what? It's like my brother is, Hector and Arnold. I know my brothers are, and they're really into that stuff. The Dodgers, the Dodgers won, as I heard it, the World Series for the first time in 32 years, as I saw it. That's pretty cool, to see that. But, when it comes to talking about sports and stuff, I love to watch Hector be into sports, like when we used to have our little gatherings and stuff. I loved, watching the sports with Heckler. I love to watch them. I like to watch the sports while we're having a little gathering and stuff. Yes, I love it, but I just don't root for them, or I don't bet money or whatever you might call it. But I'm just not a sports kind of guy, They're just not into it. Okay, fact number 3, phenomenal memory. I got phenomenal memory. And you know what? When it comes to talking about phenomenal memory, I can remember as far back as when I was an infant. Yes, you heard me right. Well, not literally an infant, but I can remember as far back as when my mom was holding me on her lap, because I can remember when I was able to see through the windshield of the car, and I would see the really nice, pretty, fluffy clouds and stuff. And I can remember as far back as that. But of course, the number of different houses that we moved out of, like the number of times that we moved out in our years, it's going to help me remember. It's going to help me remember things too, and things like that. Phenomenal memory. And then, you know what? And I can remember in detail what's happened, what I did year by year, all the way up until now. Especially the first 20 years of my life, I can remember in detail every month that passed by in my life, for every month and every year. For an example, I can remember in detail what happened in 1980, in detail. Yeah, I'm talking about total detail. I can remember in detail what happened in 1981 and so forth, but it's only from 1980 and up that I can remember in detail. But from the time of birth until 1970, I can remember a lot, but not in total detail. But I can remember a lot of things. I remember a lot of things from my first 10 years of my life, even as far back as when I was a baby, I can remember, speaking of that, I can remember when I was really upset about being locked up in the room, in the crib. I can remember jumping in the cribs, and I can also even remember when my mom was changing my diaper, when I was 1 year old or 2 years old, I guess. I know I can remember as far back as that, I remember. It's funny that I remember those kind of things, Well, I remember that far back. Yes, I mean, that's pretty phenomenal there, if you ask me. So, one other thing about me, fact number 4. I'm a 99-cent shopper. I go to the 99-cent stores and I go to the thrifty stores. I mean, I really don't, I'm not really into the, like the malls, the expensive name brand stuff. I'm not into that stuff. Well, I'll go there, I'll buy a name brand this or that once in a while, while it's particularly like, it might be like windsuits or something, but well, name brand or not, it has to be a specific type of item that I like on the way that it looks, the style or whatever, and it's what I go by. I go by the style or whatever rather than the name brand. But anyway, 99-cent store, I'm gonna go to the 99-cent store to buy all those little things like soaps, or well, we'll go to Costco sometimes, but for the most part, if I'm looking for something real quick, like let's say like cups, like paper cups or things like that, paper plates or napkins, or a little bit of snacks, a lot of snacks or food, I'll go to that's the first store I'll go to buy that. That's the first. But then I like to go to Walmart. Walmart could probably be included on the list of the type of store that I'm into. I'm all Walmart and all 99-cent store, and that's all me right there. I buy everything in the Walmart and 99-cent store, but of course I'll once in a while go to the mall or other fancy places to buy some stuff there. I'll buy stuff in other stores here and there though, but not a lot, not often though. So yeah, so that's fact number 4. Okay, now fact number 5. I get a lot of situations where a lot of people think that I look mean. I have a lot of times when people think I'm mad, because it's like my face, the way I look. I have that look of being mad, like. So yeah, I do get the look. A lot of people like misinterpret my look as being a meanie or being mean, or it's like, I mean, and then of course, one time, for an example, I was like walking into the mall, and then I walked towards a car, and I saw this lady in the car, right? And then when she looked this way at me, she like whoa, like she said, it's like if I was gonna rob her or something. She got all scared of me. That's very common in me. That's another fact in me. Like, it's common that I'm gonna get a lot of people like being shied out or scared of me based on my looks, because of my mad look on my face. Like, I'm gonna get a lot of people scared of me there. So yeah, I mean, like, shied out. A lot of people get shied out of me because I mean, a lot of people. And then of course, it could be an issue too. Like when I in certain places. In some places, it could be an issue, and it can actually even be a safety issue for me too, because if I'm going to get someone who's looking at me and he's not in his right mood or whatever, and he sees my face or whatever, and he wants to talk to me, and I cannot hear because of my ear or whatever, and then he'll get mad at me, and then he might want to get mad at me because I look like I'm mean or something, and I can get an issue with that. I mean, it can actually be a safety issue for me sometimes, but I just kind of avoid it because, like, people will think I'm mad, and then that person will get offensive because I look like I'm mad at him or something, So that it's an issue for me. Well, one of the things that I could do about it is I could wear the face mask. Yeah, I mean, like the saying says, in today's times 2020 pandemic, we could wear a face mask if we want to hide our look, Yeah, so yeah, that was fact number 5. Fact number 6. I'm all Windows computer user. I'm a PC user and an Android user. It's because those are the only things that I really know how to use it really good. Those are the only things that I know how to use well. The Apple stuff, although we do have Apple stuff, I have an Apple MacBook. I do have one, but my kid is using it right now. So I do have a MacBook. Yes, I do. But of course, I use PCs only because it's the only thing I know how to use really well. Because if I was going to get onto the MacBook, I would have to learn everything on that thing, especially like the Windows Movie Maker. Because I use a Movie Maker all the time, and that's what I know how to use best. And that's the only thing I want to stick with, because I don't want to go through all the learning I'm too old to go through all the learning of the new stuff, you know. It's too much for me, you know. I just want to stick with what I know best. So Windows computer, I know how to use it best. I know best on how to use those. You know, I prefer to stick with the Windows computer and the Android phones. Because Android phones, for an example, it's easy to drag and drop files when I need to on the Android. But with the Apple stuff, for an example, like we have to go through the program, or we have to use iTunes to be able to do that. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do that. I mean, I don't like to be a slave with iTunes and stuff, you know. I don't like to be a slave with that, you know. Because with the Android, I could just drag and drop files onto it. And it's the same thing with the PC. Well, I think you could do that with the Mac too, but I just know how to use a PC, and I'm straight out PC. That's all I know. That's all I know how to use perfectly. I know how to use that perfectly, so I'd rather stick with that, you know. Fact number 7. I was at one time known to be short-fused, meaning short-temper. I used to be known to be short-tempered before. One time, like when I was younger anyway. I mean, like, everything used to make me mad, or like really mad easy, you know, like things used to make me mad really easy, or I used to always have it was not an attitude. I do not have attitude, but I used to just get mad easy. I used to like burst into, I would get offended. There we go. I got offended easily. I got offended easily back in the day, especially like in my 20s, like in the late teens and even in my 20s, you know. I was short fused, you know. I used to get offended really easily, like real easy, you know, and I would get all mad and stuff, you know. My brother Hector, you know, I mean, like whenever my brother like said something that was offensive to me, I would burst into anger and stuff, you know, and I would get all mad and stuff, or like, you know, like I was just short fused back in the day, you know. I was known to be short fused, yeah. So that's on, yeah. Even as a kid, I was known to be short fused, but you know, my dad though used to get a kick out of me getting all mad, you know, like he used to getting mad really easily, you know. My dad used to get a kick out of that, you know. So speaking of that, you know, like many times my dad used to hit me, or not hit me, but you know, my dad hit me, like, slap me just for fun, you know, just to be funny. My dad, you know, for an example, like he used to sneak up behind me, you know, like sneak up behind me while I was minding my own business, and he would slap my ass, you know. Slap my ass really hard or something, or he would just slap my head real hard or something, or he would just like do this to my head real hard, like when I'm just minding my own business. Because like he used to do that because he used to know that he used to make me really upset, and I would get all mad and stuff, you know. And my dad used to get a kick out of that, you know. He used to get a kick out of getting me all mad and stuff, you know. So, and of course many times, you know, my dad hit me because I started rebelling against him, or how do you call it, like, what do we call that word? Well, anyway, like when I started getting back at my dad for it, you know, for doing it, or, yeah, that type of thing, and then I would get beat up by my dad, you know. My dad would hit me and punish me and stuff whenever I retaliated. That's the word. Whenever I retaliated against what my dad used to do. I mean, I would get in trouble if I did anything, you know, like. Of course, I could not hit my dad because he would beat me up. It would probably be the end of my life there. But, I mean, I used to, like, hit things. Like, I used to slam doors, or I used to hit things. But although I never used to break stuff or anything, but, I mean, I know one time when I pushed I pushed one of those chairs, like, it was like a bar stool. I pushed a bar stool one time against one of those like cabinet doors, and they made a dent. And I was not meant to do that, you know. Made a dent on it because he got me mad, you know. He got me really mad because he did those disrespectful things to me while I was minding my own business. So I got mad at him, and since I cannot hit him, I just would hit things against other things, you know, like just to kind of tell the message that I don't like it. It's disrespectful. And then without knowing it, like I made a dent on the cabinets there, and I was not meant to do that. And then I got the spanking of my life for that, you know, I tell you. And then, like, my mom, while my dad was spanking me, my mom was telling my dad he needs to, like, hush there because he's doing it too hard. He's hitting me too hard with the belt, you know. Yeah. Well, anyway, that was pretty typical in my childhood life, you know. So, okay, here's another one, you know. Fact number 8. I have to be sure I'm counting the right number, yeah. Fact number 8. Okay, well, back in 2005, I had a cancer. Yeah, well, there's no alarm here. I mean, I did have a cancer before. Yeah, like I had a surgery one time before because of cancer. Because like when I was like 35 years old or 34 or something, I was diagnosed with the cancer on the testicle area, on my testicle. So yeah, I mean, apparently it just happened. So yeah, I had it. I mean, but I think it was to do with because I was trying to, you know, thin myself too much, and I was not eating enough or something because I was like really conscious about my weight and stuff, you know, and everything. But you know what? So I had a cancer on that area of my body. So I eventually had it removed. I had to get that part removed. But I've been good since, you know. I'm all good now. I mean, right now I'm all good. It's been, 15 years now, and there's no problems in me right now. I mean, no problem now. So so the cancer, I mean, so that's the other fact. That's fact number 8. I did have a cancer before, but it was just like, it was the most curable kind, though, they said. So what happened is, like, after that, that's when I had radiation for like maybe 2-3 weeks. I had radiation treatments afterwards. And so it's been good. I've been good since. I've been good, all good now. I mean, so I'm fine right now. I mean, so that's no alarm. So anyway, and then speaking of which, now this brings to fact number 9. Fact number 9. I was really conscious about my looks and my weight back then. Back in the 2000s, or even in the 2000s, I was really conscious about my weight, especially I didn't even need to lose weight. I felt I looked good already. I mean, but I was like really conscious about losing weight. Yes, you heard me right, man. Well, I did not need to lose weight back then, but I mean. Well, anyway, I was like, this is fact number 9. So I was really conscious about losing weight. So yeah, so back then in 2001, that's when I joined the gym and I had a trainer because I really wanted to go back to the 130 pounds that I used to weigh when I was a teenager, you know, because at the time in 2000 I weighed 160 pounds. And I felt that was too much for me. You know, that was too much weight for me. I don't know. That's how I thought. You know, I thought that a lot of us are like that. You know, but I weighed 160 back in 2000. 2000, and I wanted to lose weight. I mean, I wanted to I wanted to go to 140 pounds, and I succeeded on the first couple of months. I went down to 140, but of course, it started like making me look unhealthy too. Because I was really worried about how much I weighed at the time. And, I looked good at 160 pounds. I was just too worried about my weight because I wanted to fit in with the celebrity, that stupid shit, I wanted to fit in with the celebrities because I felt like that everybody likes skinny guys or skinny people. So it's like a kind of like a, what do you call that, a trend, or there's like I just want to fit in, or that's how I thought back then. So I tell you, it got to the point, like when I moved into the mobile home, like I got to the point like where I was eating less and less and less, and it was to the point where every day I would just have one bowl of cereal, and maybe some water or orange juice. I would have an orange juice, but just one bowl of cereal and an orange juice, and that's it. And then later on, I would probably have like a bagel or something, and then that's it. And then for lunch, I would just have a cheeseburger, a small cheeseburger, and a small fry, and a cup of water, and that's it. And then going home, I would just snack down on just like one TV dinner and maybe a little orange juice, and that's all I used to eat through the whole day, and I would do that for weeks at a time. And so, just before I got married with Jenny Lynn, just as I got married to Jenny Lynn, I went down to 133 pounds because I wanted to go to 120, yeah. I wanted to weigh 120 like I did in my teenager years, or like in my late teens, because I liked how I looked. I liked how my body looked when I was like 18 years old, like in the videos, I liked how my body, I liked how my stomach, how I didn't have any stomach and stuff, I wanted to be like that, but the thing was, I was not realizing what I was doing to myself, though. I was harming myself doing that, though, So, I want to see something, I gotta check something. Yeah, but little did I know, I didn't realize that I was harming myself, yeah, well, anyway, because my look started to get harmed, because, like, with Jenny Lynn, when she first saw me and everything, and when she first hugged me or whatever, she commented to herself later on, she told me about it later on, that I looked too skinny, man. I was too skinny, man. I look like I'm malnourished, she told me, yeah, oh yeah, I could probably, well, but the thing was, at the time, I didn't feel like I was. I felt like I looked good, in those days, I felt I looked good, but people were commenting that I looked kind of malnourished, but, and apparently, I think it was the case, and I tell you, and if it wasn't for meeting Jenny Lynn, I probably would have continued to malnourish myself down to, I would have been going down to 120. And I would have went down to 110 if I could, at the time. Yeah, not even realizing that's a very dangerous thing to do, to your health. Very dangerous to do that, because you're depriving your body of the nutrients that it needs. And that includes, like, for the immune system to safeguard against cancers, for this case, in my case. So I kind of feel that that's probably where the cancer came from, because my immune system was becoming too weak because of me killing myself, So that's a little advice I could tell you. Don't do that. Don't try to go to 120 pounds by killing yourself, not eating. Don't do that. I'm warning you right now, don't do that, man. That's gonna kill you, that could kill you, man. So you gotta be very careful. Don't do that, man. I will never do that again. Well, I don't care. I will never do that again because I'm happy with myself, and I don't care about the looking like a slave. I don't care about that shit, man. So yeah, that was fact number 9. Fact number 9. So fact number 10. I love windsuits. I love these tracksuits. This always has been a part of me. These tracksuits. Well, like right now, like I'm wearing this tracksuit jacket. I mean, although I just bought this jacket at Target, and I paid $35 for it, but I mean, I got this jacket at Target, but they didn't have the pants for it, and I'm hoping that they're gonna have the pants, the matching pants to this. But I just wear my other pants, you know, that go pretty well with it. But you know, it's not just any tracksuit that I like. I like the ones that are nylon. It has to be nylon, you know, because nylon tracksuits, and I like it to fit perfectly too. I like it to fit perfectly. I don't like it to fit loose. I don't like it loose. I like it to be perfect. You know, I mean, I love tracksuits. It's always been me, all my life. You know, well, at least since the early '90s, I've really been into those things. Or tracksuit pants, especially the nylon pants, you know, like those tracksuit nylon pants. I've always really been into those kind of things. I've always been, you know, because I just like the way they look and feel. I just like the way they look on me, you know. I mean, I feel like I'm different, and that's part of wanting to be different, you know. I want to be different. It's all about being different because, like, I don't see anybody with tracksuits, you know, so I like to be different, and I'm wearing a tracksuit, you know, and they're during the winter months. So, yeah, I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, now for fact number 11. You know, as you probably know it, I have been in an accident before. I've been in an injury accident before on that scooter, you know, some of you, but for those of you who don't know it, I have been in an accident before. Like when I was riding my scooter, like my motor scooter on the freeway, like my Honda Elite 150 scooter, and I was going like 60 miles an hour when the tire blew out, and then it made me lose control. And then I crashed. I had an accident. You know, a car hit me. You know, a car hit me, and then right there, from there, I don't know what happened because it rendered me unconscious, and it landed me in the hospital. So I could tell you that was an accident. I just know that I was unconscious for a few hours, and then I woke up in pain, and a lot of pain, man. I tell you, in that accident, I tell you, and then. So yeah, I mean, and then I was in pain for quite a while, you know, and they told me I was pretty lucky to survive that wreck because, you know, I didn't have a helmet on at the time, you know, when I had the accident. So that was a scooter, you know, but I'd never been involved in an accident in a car, or I never been involved in an injury accident in a car, but I've been in fender benders, but never in an injury. Yeah, so, but you know, although I've never been involved in an injury accident in a car or anything, but I have been involved in some other injury accident before, but it was not involving a vehicle. I had been in an accident as a kid, when I was a young kid, like living at the Nakoma Drive Street, and I can remember this pretty clearly, you know, like when at the Nakoma Drive house, like in Santa Ana. I mean, I had an accident as a kid while I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, because, you know, in my room, I was like really curious in those days. You know, we were kids as 2-3 year olds. You know, I can remember this day pretty well. You know, like when I was 2-3 years old, when I had an accident, like I was like, there was a painting on the wall, right? I mean, it was one of my painting that I did at the school. I think that was probably like preschool year. I don't know, maybe 4 years old. Well, I don't remember. Yeah, it was me that did that. I think I was probably like 4 years old, you know, maybe 4. Yeah, 4 years old, like a troublemaker, toddler, you know. So anyway, I just know if I remember that when I climbed up that, I mean, I wanted to get the painting on the wall, right? So because I wanted to get it, but I could not reach it. So I wanted to climb up the cabinets, the what do we call it? The chest of drawers. And this chest of drawer had a hutch on it. Had the hutch, you know, like the hutches on those things. So I climbed on it. I climbed on the chest of drawers, and of course, the chest of drawers is not stable when you climb up on it because it's gonna tip over, right? So I climbed on it to try to get it. And while I was trying to climb on it, the thing tipped over, and I fell like on the back of my head, or I just had a nasty fall from the tipping over of the dresser there. I mean, and then the thing that really got me was when the hutch, the top part of the dresser, it fell right on top of me, man. It hit me. The hutch fell right on top of me, causing a massive injury on my face. I tell you, man, I remember that day, man. The moment that the hutch hit me, man, I tell you, I knew. I mean, I felt the pain, man. I tell you, that pain is the kind of pain that you know that you're in pretty bad shape, you know. The kind of pain that you feel that when you know that you're in really bad shape, you know. Like, I never experienced that before, you know. It was something that I never experienced other than the scooter accident. But I mean, I tell you, man, it was a really scary experience for me, you know. And then I do remember the blood, all the blood that was going through me, like the nose. It hit my nose, apparently. I mean, and then I was bleeding profusely all over, you know. It was all over the place. And I knew I was in pretty bad shape, you know. I was really badly injured there. I mean, as a little kid, I was pretty badly injured because I was bleeding a lot. I mean, I was bleeding all over the place, you know. And then when my mom told me that, you know, she had just started showering, you know, she had just started to shower or something. Yeah, she told me that she had just started to shower because I was in my room. She had just started the shower, and it was just me and my mom home at the time. And then that's when I had the nasty fall, you know. And then you know, I was bleeding profusely, and I was in pretty bad shape, and I knew that I was really badly hurt, and I needed some help. I needed some serious help there, you know. And I knew that there was no way I was gonna be able to get out of this on my own, you know. And then, you know, sadly, like, my mom, you know, had just started, and it was not gonna be a while before she got out. But just out of the blues, though, that's when my dad had just came home. My dad and my uncle, Bert, his name was Bert, you know. Yeah, Uncle Bert. Like, they had just came home from going somewhere, you know. And they had just came home just about a minute after that nasty fall. And I was bleeding all over the place. They had just came home, and it's like they came to my rescue, you know. And then right there, I think that's where I landed in the hospital and everything. I remember the hospital stay, you know. I mean, I remember those times, you know. Like, they landed me in the hospital, and then from there, and I just remember that time, you know. I'll tell you, it was a really bad fall, you know. I mean, that's something that I'll never forget, you know, even as a kid, you know. But and then later on, you know, they fixed me. I don't know what they did and everything. So they fixed my nose or something. But after that, I mean, like, going on to several months after that, or even a year. And even like, it was actually from that point on, you know, going all the way until like I was 20 years old, and I was getting bloody noses pretty easily. You know, I was always getting bloody noses easily, you know, like, especially like on the first year or so after that nasty fall. I mean, I was bleeding. I mean, my nose would bleed like just out of the blues, you know. It would just bleed out of the blues, you know. And then sometimes it would bleed so much that I would end up in the hospital again, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, and let me see, that was 10, factor number 10, 11, 12. Okay, fact number 12. Well, like, most of you probably already know this, but, like, I mean, I was born with a defective ear. Probably most of you probably already know it. Yes, I mean, so I was born this way. I mean, like this year, I was born like that. So I only like I can only hear on this side only. I cannot hear anything on this side. But I mean, I could still enjoy the music and all that stuff, of course. And of course, I could hear you guys talking, of course. But it's only half of what I can normally hear. But you know, my dad, we had operations before, and my dad tried to have an operation on my ears, like to try to make it look as much as like my other ear as possible. But I mean, it just didn't work out. I mean, I don't know the whole story there, but it just didn't work out. You know, I mean that. Yeah, so that's like fact number 12. Well, I was born this way, so yeah. I mean, imagine 50 years. I'm 50 years old now. I lived with this for 50 years, so apparently, and what's it like to have only 1 year? Well, I mean, like I cannot hear on that side, you know. But I think the bummer part is when I cannot hear anything through the headphones. So like when I put on the headphones, I cannot really enjoy the quality, the cool stereo sound, unless I raise the volume really high on this ear. On that, but whatever. I mean, I'm okay with it though. So yeah, so that was fact number 12. Fact number 13. I love to pet cats, kitties. I love to touch the hair of the cat, especially. It's mostly cats. I mean, I love to pet the cat. You know, I mean, I love kitties. I always loved the way the hair of the cat feels, you know, like the fur on their hair. But you know, that can go with the like people's hair too. Like, you know, like I like to touch the hair of my kids. I like to touch the head of my kids, you know, because it's cute, you know, like I just like the way it's cute, like the way it feels, you know, like the soft hair, and then the head being hard, you know, like the head, you know, being like round, so round and hard, you know, it's funny. I just get a kick out of it. I mean, I just have this thing about that, you know. I mean, I always had this thing about a cat, you know, like touching the cat. Touching the fur of the cat, you know, or petting cats. But some dogs too. I like to touch the dog's hair too, because it's just I just like the way it feels, you know. I like the way the hair feels, like the fur, because it's so soft, you know, like the fur is so soft. I just like the way it feels, you know. It's cute, you know. Like that's just me, you know. I'm obsessed with petting the cat, you know. Like whenever I like that cat come around and stuff, like I'm obsessed with like petting the cat. It's particularly mostly cats though. I mean, especially if they have the cute collars, you know, like if they have stripes, and if they're like a calico cat, especially if they're the cute collars, you know, the cat, like a calico cat, or how you call it, like the tabby cat. I just get a kick out of touching the fur of the tabby cat, especially the short hair ones, the short hair cats. I'm telling you, it's funny, man. It's cute, you know. I just have this thing about it, you know. I'm telling you. Well, anyway, now fact number 14. I have never in my life have been in a fist fight. Never. And in my life, I never had a fist fight, any sort of fist fight or any sort of physical fight. Oh, well, of course, you know, I had little physical fights when I was a kid and with Arnold and stuff, but I don't count those. But I mean, with Hector, Hector never used to retaliate against me or anything. But Arnold, me and Arnold used to fight. You know, we used to like fist fight. Well, not fist fight, but we used to physically fight. You know, whenever we got mad at each other, or whenever we disagreed, or we did our little kid thing. But I don't count those. So, but in the public, in the real life, public and school or anything, well, it was one instance where I got pretty close to a physical fight for one person, and his name was Benjamin. No, it's not you, Benson. It's Benjamin. Well, it was this kid by the name of Benjamin at the time. And like he was just he was just a little prick, you know. I mean, he acted like a prick, you know, this too. And then I mean, me and him got kind of involved in a little altercation, physical altercation, but it ended right away. But nothing happened, you know. I wouldn't really consider that, but that's the closest thing to a fist fight that I ever been involved in. So that was it. But that's it, though. I never been involved in any fist fights. Never in my life. And, you know, if someone's going to get mad at me or wanting to fist fight me, I'm just going to run away. I'm going to run away. I mean, I'm not going to injure myself from someone who's psycho, you know, like, I'm not going to do that, you know. And that can include, like, any teenagers who may be psycho. I'm just going to run away from them because they can cause injury, you know, like, because a punch from anybody can cause injury, you know, if it's in the right place and if you're unaware of that person trying to hit you, that can cause injury, and that's going to cause injury. It doesn't matter who's young, how young or old you are. I mean, it doesn't matter how young the kid is, and a kid can bring up a baseball bat and hit you on the head, and then you're done for it, you know. I mean, yeah, I mean, so I mean, it's like it doesn't take a lot to kill somebody if it's like the right place or something, you know, the way I could call it, you know. So yeah, fact number 15. For me, I tend to be someone who's generous. I tend to be giving all the time. I mean, that's my attitude. That's how I am, you know, like, I mean, like, whenever if I'm going to come across somebody, like, who I could really tell really needs some help in life, or when I can really tell, I mean, like let's say someone who's broken down on a car or something and he really needs help, I mean, and I come around to him easy, like if it's easy enough to help, I'll do it. I mean, I'll help him, you know, like, I'll do things like if I get to know the person a little bit and I know that, and I could already tell that he's okay, I would be able to offer him rides to a store, to auto parts store, and I would offer him rides. That's a quick example. But despite of that, you know, well, for me, I'm a giving kind. I mean, like, I tend to just give away things rather than trying to sell. Before, I used to try to sell everything, but I don't want to bother with that, man. I don't want to bother. And the classic example of all this that I'm talking about is the day that I had the giving away rampage. Remember the video you just saw about my giving away rampage? All the clothes, all the blankets that we had, and all the clothes and all the toys that we had. We just gave like 20 boxes worth of stuff away. We just gave it away. I just put it on the driveway, as you saw it on the video, and you gave everything away. And you know what? It's all gone. Would you believe that? It's all gone. I'll show you right now. You see that? See, that's what's left of it, man. That's what's left of all the stuff that I got rid of. Yeah. They took everything, man. And a lot of people, you know, like some people considered it. A lot of people, like, particularly the high rollers or the rich people, or like people who are like a little bit above me, you know, like living in Rancho Cucamonga, living in these nice houses. Well, I mean, they're gonna say they would just trash it. They would just throw it away in the trash. But I tell you, I mean, but it was all blankets and stuff that I got rid of and stuff, and so that was it. I mean, they took everything. At least over here in San Bernardino, I mean, there's a lot of homeless people here, and more people are unfortunate here. Well, we're going to find more people that are unfortunate here in San Bernardino than we're going to find them in Rancho Cucamonga, you know, so, or any of the nice areas like, you know, like Santa Ana, or any area that's rich and nice, you know, like Covina or whatever. You know, that's in California anyway. So I tend to be giving, and then, you know, like if I'm going to come around somebody, like any person that I could tell that he's having a hard life and stuff, you know, and everything, like everything always seems to be going wrong, and I could see that he's working really hard, and if I could see that he's really trying to make ends meet, and I see that he's having a hard time with life, I tend to be the giving kind by going ahead and giving him the things that I have, like some things that I don't want. I'm just gonna give the person that thing, and they could even go as far as, like, for an example, like if I could see that this person is really like hurting, and I could tell that he's trying hard, then if I would just give him like one of my bikes or something. That's an example, you know. I tend to do that. I tend to be that way. So yeah, and then of course sometimes I might give money. I might give like a $20 once in a while. I mean, here and there, $20. And when I could tell, when I could see it, when I can really see it, that the person is really like trying and everything. It's when I could see it, like I'm old enough to be able to see it sometimes, you know. And I tend to be giving, you know. But speaking of giving away, I mean, I always have stuff to give away. I always have stuff that I want to get rid of, and I don't even bother to sell it because people like lowball me all the time. So I'd rather just find somebody who really could use those things or would really appreciate it and give it to them. And sometimes some of these things can have a lot of value, you know, but I just don't bother to sell it. I just give it away to someone who really can use it, things, you know. So yeah. So anyway, okay. So that was 15 additional facts about me. So I hope you liked this video. So, and that's it. Alrighty. Thank you very much.